Okay, this VitalWare training session will be to teach you how to request new items to your corporate CDM for your particular corporate committee. So to get to VitalWare, go to your web browser and you would type in www.vitalware.com. It'll take you to the VitalWare main page, and you, on the upper right corner, you would select Client Login. And you would type in your username and password. And it's very similar, once this page comes in, it's a very similar process to requesting an item from the corporate to your particular charge master. So again, we would go to the Products button, and you would go to Billing and Vital CDM. And again, it'll come in and it will default to your facility view. So if you are in, let's do Missouri Baptist, for instance, it would default to, if you were at Missouri Baptist, it would default to this particular charge master, and you would have your drop down here that was particular to your particular department. So we'll do cardiac cath lab and hit search. Now, if I need to, the first thing you need to do when you want to request an item from the corporate is you want to make sure that it's not one in your charge master, in your department charge master, and secondly, that it's not in the corporate already. So we're going to do a couple of search functionalities here. And so in your charge master, you're going to go to the add filter here, and you're going to select the radio button that says basic filters. And on this, select CDM field to search. This is a cath lab, so a lot of my procedures are going to be soft coded. So I'm going to go down to soft coded for reference, as opposed to the CPT/HCPCS. I'll say starts with. And let's just do anything that starts with 49. And I don't have anything in my charge master that starts with a procedure code of 49. So that was just an example. So what I would do is I say, okay, well, I need to go and see if it's at the corporate now. And so you would go up to the View Corporate button and select it, very similar to when you are going to go and request an item from the corporate. And again, it would be BJC Healthcare, select the group, always select the group. And here you have the option to go and select your particular corporate committee that you're looking for. In this particular instance, it's cath lab. And I'm going to go ahead and select cath lab, and again, do filters, because you want to make sure that it's not already sitting in there ready for you to request. So I'm going to do soft coded for reference again, and starts with, and I'm going to type in 49 again. And so what VitalWare is going to do, it's going to look for anything under the cath lab corporate CDM that starts with 49. And here again, you know you're in the right corporate. It's very important that you go to the correct corporate committee. So if I'm from radiology and I want a procedure, but I find one in cath lab, you cannot get that. You cannot request that particular item because it's not approved in your corporate department. So we need to make sure that you are selecting from the right area. So again, so I'm looking through and I'm looking for my particular procedure that I need to add to the corporate. And I cannot find it as I'm scrolling through. I know it's not here. So what I would do is go to the request new item, new parent items, select the routes. These routes are built out for your corporate committees. So this is cath lab, and so I want to make sure that I choose the cath lab corporate add change delete. Do your form title. So I'm going to say add cath lab procedure to corporate and hit submit. And just like a facility request, it's going to come up with a new request tab, and it's going to need you to fill in all the information because it's going to be blank and it needs to know what data that you need to add. So to do that, you would go to the plus. And as the requester for a new cath lab item or any item, I would just go here to this particular window and it would highlight the items that's required for me to add. So the effective date, you want to make sure that you put in the dates, the earliest date that you need that particular procedure charged. So I'm just going to type in June 1st. And a little trick is that if you go down here to the CPT/HCPCS and I type in 49083, and I hit tab, then that's going to default in the CPT code short name into the billing description there. So it'll give you an idea of what kind of description you may want to put for your new procedure in cath lab. And I can highlight the billing name and just copy it into the technical and the short. The revenue code, all these additional fields that you see here, the revenue codes, additional CPT codes, status, UGSI, those are all added through the corporate approval process. And so you are only required as the requester to do the effective date, the descriptions, and the CPT code if you know it. So I have those fields populated. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And it's going to put it into the view in the back. And again, I can select the line when it's right here. All this pink on those fields means that that's information that you have added. And I can see my fields right over here just to double check and make sure it looks correct to me. You go to the line item comment. It's very important that when you're doing a corporate ad that you put in the business case or the reason why you think you need this particular procedure added to the corporate. And so you would do so by doing the line item comments here, putting in your information and selecting save. Again, you also have the file attachments available as well. And then from here, once you have all that information available and populated, you would go to Action, Submit Request. And once you submit the request, it will go through each BJC facility or group for approval so that everyone in the committees that you're used to going to those committee meetings are going to look through at your request. They're going to add any additional information. They may not like the idea of what you're adding to the department, so they're going to perhaps push it back to you with comments and saying, just for additional information, so it opens the lines of communication. If they approve of the request, they're going to go ahead and move it to the next step. So it goes through all the facilities for approval, and then it goes through the BJC CDM committee, which is the enterprise coding, HIM for the legacy facilities, as well as patient accounting for government and managed care. Once it goes through all those approval requests, then it comes over to pricing. And then strategic pricing will come in conjunction with the CDM team, and we'll define the pricings out for the procedures. And so all that will be built out for each facility, because as you approve this, then it's available for all other facilities to request for their departments. And so that price will be available for them at that time then. Once the pricing is established, it will go to the CDM maintenance, where your UGSI will be assigned. And again, you'll get a similar email just as with your facility request that looks very much like this. That'll tell you the state, the work queue, and once it's all approved, you'll have your pricing here and your UGSI established. Once it's approved, then you know that you can come back in to VitalWare and request it from the corporate to your facility so that you can have the charge for your particular charge master. So it's a two-step process to get that charge in your charge master. You have to have it approved at the corporate level first. Once approved, you go back into VitalWare to push it to your facility. Now, I will say that the corporate requests, unfortunately, cannot be viewed. The status cannot be viewed through this request tab right up here. That particular request tab is for the facility request only. So if you need to inquire on the status of your request, please you're welcome to contact the CDM department, and we will be able to track that down for you to tell you where that request is. So the system administrator, CDM manager, or any of the CDM personnel that's available with the team. And again, if you have any further questions, that was it for a corporate request. So if you have additional questions, please feel free to contact the system administrator or the CDM manager for additional information. Thank you.